Hi everybody, in this video we're going to do a model breakdown of the 2021 Giant Contend AR2. Thank you so much for tuning in. Actually, we have Hurricane Sally hitting our area at this time. I've been scrambling to get the house and all this stuff ready, so really kind of rushed this video a little bit. So just wanted to get this information out there because back in August, I don't know if you remember, but I actually did a video comparing all the Giant Contend AR models from 2020 to 2021 and the changes that Giant have actually made with those. At that time, they didn't have the Contend AR2, so now it's on some of the websites, so we're going to go over that now. All right, so here are the differences, and we'll start off talking about the amount of money here. You can see it's $1,350 US. That is a guess because actually it is not on the website for the United States yet, so I don't know if they're going to actually release this in the United States or not, but it is on the Canadian website, the Australian website, and the European website, so maybe it will come to the United States. We don't know. My guess is that it's going to be about $50 more than the previous models. Now the first change we see here is the saddle, and just like the other models, it has switched from the contact forward saddle to the Giant Approach. Here are the images of both saddles. I've talked about these before, but in my opinion, I think the new Approach saddle right here is going to be way more comfortable than the previous model. I just say that because it has a better cutout. It just looks like a better quality saddle overall. Okay, so the next thing that is really a big change for Giant on the AR2 is the brakes. They've gone to a mechanical disc brake setup here, the Tektro mechanical disc brakes, which are the same as the Spire, TRP Spire disc brakes. And over here on the right, you see they had the Giant Conduct disc brakes, which was that hybrid system. And you can see it here on the left side. It was where the master cylinder was sitting in front of the stem, and you would actually have regular cables coming into the side of the master cylinder right here, and it would basically pull the master cylinder, and then you had hoses going to your calipers at the front and the rear that would actually brake. This system actually felt really good to me. It felt like a hydraulic system. It had great power. Now the downside is obviously you have this huge master cylinder sitting on the front of your stem. A lot of people did not like that. Also, you would have to have some kind of special mount for a Garmin or a computer or a light, and the mount was not cheap. I think it was like $100 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but so the mount was not cheap to have it there. So, but the system, in my opinion, worked really good. Another negative was you could not use an arrow handlebar. The handlebar had to be a round handlebar, and then you obviously are stuck with a Giant specific stem as well. Now on the right hand side here you see the Tektro, and this is just like the TRP Spires, and I've used those in the past, and they are probably one of the best mechanical disc brakes that are out there. The only problem is they're still mechanical, so you still have that drag of the cable going through the cable housing, and it's not as fluid, it's not as smooth or powerful as a hydraulic system. Now, some of you will love that they got rid of this contraption here on the front of the stem, and some of you may not. So it really just depends on what you thought about the 2020 model and what you thought about the brakes and which one you prefer. Okay, so now that we have the two in place, we can see here the 1, 2, 3, and 4, the comparison between them. And really, when you look at this, the main thing that I see that is different is the brakes, obviously. And the brakes on the 2, 3, and 4 are now identical. They all have the same brakes now. So when you look at the 2, really the only upgrade you're going with is a carbon defused seat post. You also go with the tubeless ready tires, and you get one extra gear, or I guess you could say 2 extra gears, with a 2x10 system instead of a 2x9 or 2x8. So then comes the question, is it really worth $200 more for those upgrades? You can get a carbon defused seat post for roughly around $75 on the Giant website. So that's about a $75 upgrade. If you're going to change your tires out anyway on some of the other models, then really I don't see the tires being a huge advantage having them tubeless ready. So everything else is really the same. I mean, unless you want the extra gearing. So really, when they took away the brakes there and made it more like the 3 and 4, The 3 and 4 are more enticing to me if I'm going for a budget-oriented bike. Okay, so let's talk about the front derailleur. And on the 2, you can see this is an issue with the Shimano Tiagra. It has a huge arm here on the front derailleur, and that was the same in the 2020 model as well. So if you're running to run larger rubber like the 40C tires, you might run into an issue with this front derailleur. Now you can upgrade this to the 105, but you're looking at about $45 to upgrade it, and then whatever it costs to install it, or if you install it yourself. And then you're running into a bike that's running around $1,400, and for $150 more, you can just go with the 1 model and have hydraulic disc brakes and the 2x11 group set. So, you know, in my opinion, with the 2, that is a limiting factor here, is that arm there. You can see on the 3 and the 4, their arms are longer, but it shouldn't cause an issue with larger rubber. That is the one downside, in my opinion, of the 2. I feel like it is too expensive for what you get out of it. If I were going to buy one of these bikes, I would obviously go with the 1 if I could afford it. If I couldn't afford it, I would go with the 3 or the 4. All right, so let's get into the most important part of this, and that is the colors of the bikes. Now, they come in 2 different colors, the concrete and the rosewood. Now, I know in certain countries you are limited on this. I believe it's in Australia, you only get the rosewood, and then in Canada, I think you get both. And over in Europe, I believe you only get the concrete. I may be wrong on that, but I know that some places are limited. Canada, you get both choices. Now, they didn't really have any good photos on their website. It's almost like they haven't uploaded or updated the site yet for those. This is actually a TCR. And so I looked for other bikes with the concrete type paint on them. So this is the TCR. And, you know, I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it, you know, especially if it has this logo that's like kind of green and sparkly. That would be amazing. It's a sharp looking bike there. But I realized that it's not this type of paint on this one, okay? It's going to be more like this paint that you see here. This is on the Revolt 2, I believe it is. And it's more of a flat concrete. Now, the quality of the pictures that was on the Giant site was not great, so that's why they're a little grainy there. But you can see it's a flat concrete with like a flat black logo on it. This is what the Contend AR2 is going to look like in that concrete color. All right, so and when I was looking at it, you can see the colors here. This is the AR2. It says concrete is the color. The Revolt 2, it's also concrete. Now, the TCR that I showed you at the beginning, it was concrete and Chameleon Galaxy. So that was the Giant logo was in Chameleon Galaxy, or that green sparkly color. So the Contend AR is going to look like that Revolt with that flat concrete look. Now here's the rosewood, and like I said before, I was not that excited about the rosewood at first. I was thinking, nah, it just looks maroon, you know. But after I saw some detailed pictures of it, you know, I figured out it's going to look amazing. Now, this is the only picture that was on the site for the Contend AR, so no details. It's just a side shot. The quality was not great, but I did find a Revolt Advanced that had the same color scheme on it. So this is the Revolt Advanced here, and you can see that it has like a maroon kind of color to it, and then it has some sparkle to it, but it also kind of has like a flat look to it as well. I don't know about flat, but you know, it kind of fades to a different lighter color. It looks really sharp in my opinion. If I were going to get one of these 2 bikes, it would definitely be the rosewood that I would go with. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Give it a like. Also share it with any of your friends. Wish me and my family luck with this storm about to hit us, and we'll see you in the next video.